Yeah, they're both good.
Right, let's go.
Okay.
All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We are GMS London Forecasters back with another sit down, and we're going to give all the praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Muhammad.
And as always, we give double honors to our apostles and the elder bishops, the great men of Son of the world. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity. So yeah, we're going to get into it, man. You know, we're going to do a little lesson. We're going to talk about the heathens, man. We can talk about Esau, you know, and his captivity that he's going into, but we can't forget that we have enemies all round about us, man. In fact, someone could start with Psalms 83.
I was just thinking that. This is get it.
Because yeah, man, it's not just the Edomites that we have to think about. Every other nation out there is out to get us. You know, that's not like a boogeyman theory. It's a fact. And there's something in Deuteronomy 20th chapter of that as well about them being above us and us being down low.
Yeah, they should get up high and we should come down very low.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Psalms 83 from verse 1. A psalm of Asaph. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." Might I just say something on that?
Yeah.
Like, we was talking about Christianity at the camp yesterday, right? And a lot of these heathens will go up in them churches and claim, "Oh, I believe in Jesus and I'm saved, and yeah, God's for everybody. Yeah, God's for everybody." Well, look, Psalms 83 and verse 2 clearly says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." So if you ain't an Israelite, you're an enemy of the Most High at this point in time. So you can't be coming around acting like, "Oh yeah, God's for everybody," when God has enemies, man. But again, the Christians don't want to teach that because they want to teach this watered down, whitewashed version of the Most High and who they call Jesus, as they're just these, how do you call them, these pacifist powers that will just accept anybody and anything. Like, you can do whatever you want and come to the Lord, it don't matter. Well, the real God of the scriptures, man, he has standards. And we're held to a very high standard because we're Israelites. And guess what? The enemies of the Most High, they're held to a standard too. And they're going to have to pay for everything that they've done unto the Most High's chosen, which is us. So let me carry on. "Below thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee," there you go, they hate the Lord, "have lifted up the head."
And that tumult is like they're basically making up a whole heap of noise against us, man. You know, they're being tumultuous. Someone can get that word, man, and get that word in the dictionary.
Yep. Okay,
You have to get into these words sometimes because, you know, they glossed over. You know, that Christian church thing that you was talking about. You know, that's why what we say is controversial, man, because they've never heard anything like this in regards to the scriptures, man. You know, but we're coming in the truth. You know, it's not watered down, man.
Yeah, I've got the word here for tumultuous. Tumultuous describes something characterized by confusion, disorder, loud noise, or intense, chaotic change.
That would do. Yeah, you know.
So this is verse 3. It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance."
Yeah, man. So, you know, along the line, you can take a couple of nations right now. So you look at the so-called, we call them the small hats. You know what I mean? You know, they're out there posing as us, very poorly. You know, if you look at it scripturally, they're doing a very poor job of it. Then you get other people suppressing, you know, who we actually are. You know, hiding the history. You know, there's things out there that detail who the saints are, right? You look at the Russian icons. It tells you, you know, and we're pretty sure that in the Vatican they have the hidden, you know, literature and the hidden images of Yahweh Shai and his true form. You know, in what we could depict Selaka as his true form. He's not a so-called white man with long, stringy hair and blue eyes, man. He's a dark-skinned man with eyes like fire and. You know, head white like wool, man. With the beard also, man. So all these things, that's another part of them, you know, being you know, suppressing our true nature, man, being the enemies of Yahweh and of Israel.
If I may say something on that point, like all you got to do is go to the British Museum. If you go to the British Museum, one of the first exhibits you're going to see in there is ancient Egypt. Now, if you look at all of the statues, they all have something in common. The sculptures, the heads, the busts, all have broken nose, all have broken lips. But yet, if you see their fingers are intact. So why are they'll say, oh, it's just natural erosion. Well, you can clearly see they've taken a hammer and chisel to it. But the thing that cuts them is that if you go into the hieroglyphic section, right, you'll see like some of the hieroglyphics. And what you'll see is you'll see the Egyptians. You can clearly see who the Egyptians are. But you see subservient ones with dark skin, and they look like they had braided hair, like this, under the Egyptians. Who are those people?
Yeah. Because you'll see the Egyptians in high stature,
very
tall.
Yeah.
I mean, those what are they in the modern day again?
Sudan?
Not the Sudanese,
Sudanese,
right?
yeah.
So they're very tall people. Not generally, they're kind of tall people, very dark skin.
Yep.
And so you have the images that the brother was getting into, that they're very large in stature, and you have. It shows us the servants, man, beneath them, which were the Israelites, which were our people. So, and that's another cut to you, Jakes, that think you're Egyptians, man. That's you weren't the ones over them, you were the ones under them, man. All right. There's nothing to gain from Egyptology. There's no end game for that. All right. That period of that empire is over and done with. All right. The Lord took us out of that shit.
Yeah.
We're in that period of remembrance on that now, man. We're in the Passat right now, so that's all that detailing of us being taken out of the exit, the exodus being taken out of Egypt, man. That place is over and done with, man.
Just one more point. A lot of the people, Jake, that are into that Egyptology shit, a lot of them deep down they just want to be witches and warlocks, because a lot of the Egyptians were into a lot of that left hand shit. But if you look at what happened when Moses confronted Pharaoh and he threw down his rod, what happened? It swallowed up the rods of the Pharaoh's magicians, showing that the right hand, the heavenly... Look, man, how much do you need to know that the Heavenly Father is over the Egyptians? He sent 10 plagues before the Passover. And like some of them, the magicians could replicate, but some of them they couldn't. And they were like, you know what, man? They had to concede that, look, the Heavenly Father, his power is greater. And the ultimate sign of that was the Passover itself, when all them Egyptians who were talking shit had to shut up when they found because all the firstborn was slain.
Yep.
So not all skin folk is tin folk, man. As the saying goes, them people are our enemies, man. Them Sudanese, they are enemies, man. Of old.
Yeah.
Precept
as well.
Yeah, get that and you get yours.
This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So yeah, we're in that time, man. The curses are getting ready to be flipped. All these other nations, they've had their hand in the nation of Israel suffering. And really you can't say the Heavenly Father ain't a balanced power, man, because before he gives us the kingdom for the rest of days, you nations have all had your time to fuck with us, man. But now it's time to establish things in the order that is meant to be established, which is we're at the top of the food chain, man, when it comes to dealing with you nations on a hierarchical standpoint, man. So the Lord is coming to just set the balance in order,
And to touch on that, in reality, right? In reality, let's have it right, that these heathens know that we're at the top of the food chain already. They already know that. That's why they treat us the way they treat us, and we're going to get back into Psalms because that's going to detail that. But let's never get his precepts out and we'll get back to that.
Hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy.
Hurry up and buy and all that.
Yeah, like you remember that dude?
I haven't forgotten, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell the story. Me and the brother were here doing a sit down one day. We went out to get something to eat. It was about must be like 9 at night or something. We walked into a shop to buy some bottled water, right? I was looking at the water. The guy was coming out the shop.
Yeah.
Some Elamite dude, right? He was walking away from his shop, but he saw us walk in. Guy must have doubled back again, right? And
because his daughter was at the counter.
His daughter was at the counter. Not that I was even checking for anything, right? But I look at the water. All I could hear was $2.99. So I was telling us, "You talking to me?" It's like, I'm talking to her. Like, so he was basically telling the daughter $2.99 before I could go to the counter because he didn't want his daughter to talk to me.
Oh,
Literally.
That's crazy.
Dang.
I promise you, we didn't say a word to her. She didn't say a word to us. And I was like, who's on his way out though? All of a sudden, he had to stand
You
there.
must know his daughter likes Jake's.
You know? I have to double back again.
Correct.
But that's the, that is a. Remember, this is they've been taught this. Like, we're gonna make this about Esau Edom, but they've been taught this, man. They're under that vibration of white supremacy, right? They believe everything that they've been taught by them devils, man, about us.
yeah.
Ultimately, they've been taught that we're the devil, but the devil's been teaching them that, man.
Mm.
Been deceived, man.
Have you finished with that?
Yeah, I'm finished with that.
This is Job 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces thereof.
Spirit, brother.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Because of course you were talking about the artifacts in certain museums, of which chops off pretty much to cover the identity, of course, noses and certain dominant features of Jake, to cover the identity of who's actually been enslaved, and pretty much the identity of Jake has been hindered the same way, of course, as Captain was saying in yesterday's camp, how Yahushua's image has been crucified. Israel as well, even Israel's image has also been crucified as well.
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that is what the scripture do the talking on that.
Yeah, so it's back in Psalms 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So hold that. So now when we're out here and we're talking, telling people that we're the true Israelites of the Bible, and them other people out there are false, the synagogue of Satan and all that stuff. People look at us side-eye, man, because they're thinking, what are you talking about? They think we're crazy, right? They think that we're insane because we're coming with the new song now, right? The real gospel that hasn't been taught, right? That we've been taught all the time that the Most High loves everyone, and even some religions that teach that our skin is a curse, man.
Yes.
Whereas. And I don't want to keep going back to Esau Edom because it's like it's always about them, and it kind of is. But they're the ones with the curse, man. Their skin is a curse. That's a curse of leprosy, but on a clean level, man. So they flipped it, and now there's people darker than us, but they're not under. They don't say that they're under them curses, man.
We've got Elamites darker than us.
Elamites darker than us. Then Sri Lankans, man.
Sri
Lankans,
They're black as sin, literally. You know what I mean? They're that saying, but just
Verse 5. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
hold on. So what's that mean? So now they've actually convened together and decided that they're going to try and destroy us as a people. There's a covenant between them, basically.
Yeah.
To say, look, we're not going to let these people rise up because ultimately they're the princes of the power, man. Right? If we let them rise up, it's over for us. So we have to suppress them, suppress the knowledge about them, right? Make them think, plague them mentally, make them think that they're less, that they're nothing. Keep reminding them of the curses that the law put them under, i.e. the slavery and all the other stuff, to make us feel that we're nothing. When people talk about us, other nations, they're especially when you're talking about the heathens, the other heathens, the first thing they want to remember is that we were slaves, man. Like, that's our beginning.
True.
Yeah.
We were spawned as slaves, and that's it. And there ain't nothing else about us, man. And that's not true.
Esau has weaponized science against Jake as well.
Images with their noses removed. Just showing you the camera.
Yeah,
showing the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brother's got some images now.
These are some of the images of the so-called ancient historical Egyptian images. You've got a main one here, which is infamous.
Oh, yeah,
Famous or infamous, that's the one there. You could show it.
And ultimately, that's they're heathens anyway. That's statues of the heathens, man.
Yeah.
So that's, once again, that is just the whole supremacy that's ruling in the minds of these Edomites, man. And we have to talk about them anyway, because they're the head people and that are trying to destroy us, man. But you know, we're reading this, but we're really going to get into the point of what's going to happen to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to get into that, right? Because they got a lot to pay for, man.
Precept.
Just finish this if I may. This is so it says the tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Jebal and Ammon, and Amalek. So Edom's kind of mentioned twice because it says Edom, and it makes a specific mention of the head tribe of Edom, Amalek. The Philistines, yeah, they were putting hell on us before. And with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur is also joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Selah.
So there's a whole group, all the nations have come together and decided, look, man, you know, we're going to put these people. And obviously, look, this is a curse, right? This is a part of the curses. So they put us under this curse now. You know, they treat us unfair. They treat us like dirt, man. Now, a prime example of that, if you look at, because Jake spends a lot of money, right?
Oh yeah,
You know, that's factual. That's been studied. So Jake spends a lot of money, but the money that Jake spends never goes into Jake's own community. It goes into everybody else.
Yes.
That's why everyone else is always in our community,
Flourishing,
right? Flourishing, getting money. Well, and we don't. And the scriptures talk about that in Deuteronomy. Someone can get that.
Yep.
You know, where was I? Lost my train of thought.
Yeah, in our communities.
Yeah. So they're out there making dollars, right? So this, what I was going to mention as an example is what you look at the hair industry, right? And our women are all into that, and you know, so are other women. So there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's natural, right? And part of the curses is some of our women are going to be bald and stuff, so they're hitting them up for the wigs and all of that stuff. They're getting their lashes and their nails done. All these things are controlled by, in this country, Elon, and in America, it's controlled by Ammon. Ammon men, yeah. Right, and they control the supplies. So if you wanted to, as a Jake, if you wanted to get into that industry, it's virtually impossible because they're not going to sell you the goods that you need. And if they do sell you the goods that you need, it's going to be a higher price.
Yep.
So and that's once again that's the curses, man. So these people are, that's part of this confederacy that they have against us. They don't want to see us. It's not a matter of them just being greedy. I guarantee you, if Edomites came along and they wanted to get involved in that, they would deal with them.
Yeah,
more fairly.
If I may say, right, what you said is true because they want to keep it in the family. Like around where I live, there's a lot of like chicken shops run by Elam and whatever.
Taking advantage of Jake.
Taking advantage because they want our money. But I notice that sometimes when I walk past, you know that you got the signs and they run by electric because they've got the sign of the chicken shop.
Yeah.
And when you see the electricians there, who are the electricians? Elam. You know what I mean? You never see an Edomite, well you might, but you don't see a Jake because you've got qualified electricians and in this country, don't you? True. Right? So there's, as you said, they don't want us to flourish, man. They don't want us just to keep us down all the time. But then again, they want our money.
But really, the Lord doesn't want us to flourish. Because it's not our time to flourish, man.
True.
All right, we're under the pressure because of what we did, and rightfully so. Because as a nation, we deserve it. But we're coming out of that, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get, and it's gonna go onto them now, man.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Are we done in that? Let's get on these heathens, man. Because they got a lot to pay for, man.
Yep.
This is Psalms chapter 2. Psalms 2 and 1.
So now we've established the fact that the Lord has put the curses on us, and these heathens all round about us are putting the pressure on us.
Yes.
And now we're going to show that the Lord is going to be fair unto His people, and really flip the script on them, man.
Color.
Where's the remote?
Anyway, this is
Let me.
Psalms 2 and 1.
No, it's not here.
It says, why do the heathen rage? And why do the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
So hold that a second. So yes, you can see that correlates with what we just read anyway. So it's, once again, it's telling you, it's like, just read one of them. Just read one of them.
All right.
Yeah, keep one of them. Is that all right?
I think so. Well,
It's two different
You
channels.
but you still hear the sound. Right?
Can't.
Yeah.
So I'll keep it on you.
All right. So that's it. Read that again.
From the top.
Yeah.
Psalms 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision.
Right, because look, ultimately, you know, the Lord set this up. So the Lord set them up, and He's gonna, now He's about to bring them down, man. That's why He's laughing, because they think that they're in control of the situation. Right? They're not in control of the situation. They're just playing their part. Their part is very minimal. In fact, when you look at the rest of the nations, man, the major parts that have been played on earth is between Jacob and Esau. Right? They're the two main. I would say one's an antagonist and one's a protagonist in this game, and the director is the Most High, man. All right, so you know they have their little part to play. That's why ultimately Esau Edom is going to get the worst of it. You know, but what? Get this.
You finishing it?
No.
You finishing
it? Yep. Verse 5. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure, because you know the scriptures talk about how in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, because these heathens, they desire to ultimately gain a permanent upper hand over the Israelites, and their plan to do that is just gonna fail. You know, so the Heavenly Father is gonna vex them sore in his displeasure, man, because they're not gonna be able to fulfill their heart's desire.
Go on.
Yeah, we believe it.
Proverbs 11:21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
Yeah, so there ain't no point getting caught up with these heathens anyway, man. Listen, they're not out here for you anyway. So as much as you got Jakes running around trying to heal the world like Michael Jackson, and can't everyone get along? No, we can't get along, man. Because they don't want to get along. Anytime you think it's fake. We're living amongst snakes, man. That's why you went like one of the brothers says, hurry up and buy. When you walk into the shops, they're not interested in, they call you brother.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, brother, this, brother, that. They're not your brothers. They're not your brothers. All right? They're not your brothers. You know, they hate you. They're confederate against you, man. You know what, right? So do turn it.
Come on.
So that's it. Just keep doing that. Yeah.
This is you both finished with what you had?
I finished it, yes.
Right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labours shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. So yeah, these nations, they've come into our communities and they've basically set up shop in our back garden and made merchandise of us. I'll give you another example, right? Fucking arsehole across the road over here in that little shop there. Another Elamite shop, right? One day I walk into his shop. The guy's telling me, you got cat, right? You got cat. I says, yeah, how do you know that? He goes, I saw you walking with the cat litter. Here, I saw you cat litter. And I says, okay, how much, right? Dude was trying to sell me this little shitty bag of cat litter, right? Dude was selling me $10.99. When I could buy a bag 4 times the size for £7 at Tesco at the top of the road. So I just said, oh yeah, thank you, but not today, thank you. But the guy thought I was a fucking fool, man. How are you going to try and charge me 4 times what I could get it for cheaper?
Right.
And I said, how do you know I got a cat? Oh, I saw you walking down the road with a cat litter one day. So basically,
so he's watching.
That's what I'm saying. No. Dude, scoping me out, right? Trying to take me for fooling there. You know, fuck these heathens, man. Sorry,
right.
but I get
no.
man.
This is the spirit that we're into. This is the spirit of this lesson today, man.
I got
you have holding something for
this is a fact check. I just fact checked going into the consumption or the consumer. The most consumers, what race are they? I just tapped that in, right? Just to get the answer. It says, in the United States, research highlights significant high volume spending patterns within the Black community, right? Black consumers in the US have over 1.4 trillion in buying power and are known as the major consumers in the economy, they are 20% more likely than the total population to pay extra for products that reflect the image they want to convey. Another one here. Black consumers dominate in the categories such as beauty, personal care, you mentioned that, and ethnic hair care. Studies have found consumers conspicuous consumptions. Studies have found that Black and Hispanic households spend up to 30% more than white households of similar income on visible goods like clothing, care, cars, and jewelry. Last one here. Fast food consumptions. Non-Hispanics, Blacks, adults in the US have been shown to have the highest levels of daily fast food consumptions compared to other races, ethnic groups.
Yeah, because they put all that shit in our
hoods, man.
You know, all the KFCs and the chicken shops and all that shit. You know, that's not saying that no brothers can't eat a little bit of chicken now and again and all of that, but you know, they're heavily, you know, especially in my end, like you see one shop, another shop opens up 2 doors and they're selling the same shit, man.
Yeah.
And Jake would go to both of them shops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason why Jake is out is showing out because they want to show up. Jake likes to show out even when Jake can't afford it, man.
You know, it's like I need to show you, but you know what companies know that all too well? Companies like Nike and Adidas and a lot of the sports brands. I mean, just look at JD Sports. Which group of people are predominantly ones who go to JD Sports?
Well, they use us in the advertising of JD Sports.
Yep.
Probably 90% of the people you see in a JD Sports advert are Jake's.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even wear it. Apparently, he doesn't even wear his own product or what they've used him for. Is it the Nike? Isn't it? He's supposed to be.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
That's what I've heard.
I like wearing Jordans.
No, I mean,
but I'll tell you why.
That's what
because a lot
they've
of the Jordans that
Yeah.
you know, there's some Jordans that he never wore, but there's Jordans that he wore on the court and won championships in, and there's a history behind some of the shoes. So he does wear them, but he doesn't give a fuck about who's buying them. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck that Jake is spending. There's a story behind why Shaquille O'Neal, has his own brand of shoes, right? Because a woman asked him. For some, she said, why are you making shoes that my son can afford, man? I can't afford Jordans for my son. And he went to give her the money. He said, I don't want the money. Make some shoes. So he made his version of the shoes, and people buy them, man. You know, because they're cut price.
They're made well.
Look, Shaq's a big player, man. He's
very tall.
He's an all-timer, man. So you can't really look at him and say the difference is that. Just to go off topic a little bit, you know, Michael Jordan, that came out at the right time, and he was going to go another way, but they convinced him to go, and they convinced him with less money to go the way of Nike. So that's just the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, let's get off of that. Let's get back into the precepts. The whole point of that was that Jake spends money when Jake ain't got the money to spend. All right, because Jake is like that. You know, we love to, you know, show improvement. You know what I mean? We like to floss. All them things, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And in the kingdom, we're going to be flossing hard. And over these heathens, they don't even know what flossing is yet.
Yeah.
We're the trendsetters. We set the style that the other nations try to mimic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, K-pop. Look at K-pop, for example. They're taking the piss.
Real talk.
And they're saying the word nigger in their shit. How about that? Randomly as well. Like, at least when Jake's is saying in the music, there's context behind it. But these Ammonites are just going off on one, man. Trying to look like Jake, braids and the clothing, the linguistic, everything about them is just trying to be like Jake, man. Anyway, let's get these scriptures out and get these arseholes, man. That's what I want to hear. Come on, start getting these ones.
Let me bring
it's time, man. It's time. Yeah, the judgment scriptures on the demons, man. They got a lot to pay for, man.
Absolutely.
They think they're gonna just skate off
into the
You know,
sunset.
watch Esau get what's coming to him now, man. You're gonna get a taste of that. You're gonna drink them dregs as well, man.
A lot of them are going to be trying to say, "Oh, but brother,
No.
in that
In that
Bro,
day.
that day.
You've never had us fooled with that.
no.
Even
Man,
when we
this
were
one-
in the truth, we weren't fooled with that. We saw you watching us when you was walking into the shops. Now listen, I'm not saying that Jake done teeth in the shops, man, because every nation's got their little
Ninjas-
shop.
ninjas.
Listen, ninjas are gonna do what ninjas are gonna do.
Yeah,
But,
right.
you know, most Jakes were brought up not to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So even if you are doing it, you was probably taught never to do that. All
Yeah.
right?
Oh, man.
Effectively just rebelling because Jake rebel when they don't understand certain things. They just rebel, and the way to rebel is doing things going up against the status quo. That could be one reason. I'm not saying that's the whole reason.
I think Jake rebels
Yeah,
because Jake thinks they're expected to do the things that they do
yeah,
because the
They're
world
in a
has
box.
put this a whole image of them out there like that
yeah.
to do certain things, and they go with it. Like the hip hop music industry, some of the things that the rappers are rapping around about, and then Jake's are growing up thinking that that's the way.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about not snitching and all this stuff. Listen, man, you're supposed to snitch, man.
Snitches get stitches.
You're supposed to. If someone's doing some shit that is out of whack, man, you're supposed to. We ain't about that. Do you know what I mean? We're not
Not
about
truthful,
criminality,
not
man.
truthful, no.
May I say something on that point though? It's a good point you make, but what it is with Jake is that like let's say someone in your community does something wrong. There's a difference between dealing with it in house than going to Esau and asking for help. That's why that whole snitches get stitches thing runs in the Jake community because it's like, well, you're going to the enemy now, and you're taking what was amongst us to them to bring them into our shit. So you're seen as more of an enemy.
But look,
if
you
go to the
could
police.
say that. You could say that, and I'm not saying
I'm
you're
not saying
wrong.
it's right.
But I'm saying this. There are occasions like where innocent kids are getting killed for stupid shit, gang stuff, and people don't want to talk.
Yeah,
Everyone,
That's
people
big.
aren't
That's
even
big in
in that.
America.
People that aren't even living that life. They're not in the streets like that, and they have this thing that you shouldn't talk. Like if you're in the streets and that, I get it. When you're in the streets, that's your mottos, man. That's your way
There's
of
a
life.
code, the
It's
code
your
of the
code.
streets. Yeah,
Yeah, that's your code of the streets, man. But look, they tried to push that across the board for Jakes, like, and it ain't about that, man. We got first and foremost, like you said, we're supposed to be calling our people out on that bullshit instead of fucking upholding that rubbish. Because what other people do that?
Snitches get stitches.
Anyway, let's get on.
This is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it as a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, because it tells you clearly in Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. That's talking about Yahweh Shai coming with them holy angels, man. And they're gonna be coming in style. You gonna have Michael, the archangel, right behind Yahweh Shai, man. You're gonna have a whole entourage of angels right behind them coming to fuck shit up for Esau, man. That's gonna be the true fulfillment of Revelation 12:7. Not no ancient war where Satan got kicked out of heaven, man. That's not what that's talking about, man. All right. It says in 2 Thessalonians 1:9, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony was believed, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. Wherefore also we pray always for you, that our power would count you worthy of this calling and fulfill all the good pleasure of his goodness and the work of faith with power. So we're hoping to be among those, man, that are going to be glorified and admired, because we believed that the words that were contained within this book are the words that's being brought to pass now. So if the words contained within this book, which they are faithful and true, then Esau, you other nations, man, you're in trouble, man. And that's why you hid the true understanding of this book from the Israelites, man. That's why you was confederate against us, because if we got this knowledge, right? Because really the only thing that's preventing this happening is the fact that the nation don't know who their power is, man. Read Psalms 81. It tells you that, you know. But you see now, the understanding of this book has been revealed to who it needs to be revealed to, the elect. And once that deal is done, you know that you seal the deal on that, you're through, man.
Someone got something on my bring up.
Yeah, I got one after as well.
This is interesting because when you turn on your TV, you see the news, right, and you see what's going on in Iran. You have to remember that all of that is happening because of prophecy, because the Most High has seen what the heathen has done unto us, and now He's bringing judgment upon them. This is Joel 3 from verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and have sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So,
and so let me just stop you there, because you know we have to remember that they're still doing that shit today. They're still selling out people in certain places around the world, man.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you have to look at that whole industry that they call an industry, that slave trade. That was like a trilateral maneuver, man. You had, who did you have? So you had Esau, you had Amalek, and the Ishmaelites, man. Right, so you had these 3 points that were heavily involved in that. Right, so you know everything you see around you has been everything you see that is out here as an industry is making money and whatnot. That's been built off our backs, and everybody else is partaking of that. That's why people don't understand why. Some people don't understand why there's still Jake screaming about reparations, because if they got what they was owed to them, there would have been some generational wealth to be handed around. We're the only people that don't have that, man. But we do really have generational wealth coming, which is the kingdom, man. And we're going to own, and we've got to get scriptures on that, own these people, man.
Yeah.
Precept.
shall I just say something more on your point you just made? The slave trade hasn't really ended, because I was watching a film, was it last week or week before? It's based on a true story. It's called The Sound of Freedom. It's a film, I think Mel Gibson produced it or something. And it was about basically it's lucky, hold on a second. I don't want this sounds to knock off. I didn't put do not disturb on Slakia. Yeah, there you go. For one, cheers.
Go on.
See, the film was called The Sound of Freedom, based on a true story. What they were doing is they had this woman going around in South America. Can't remember what country it was. Might be Brazil. And she was like, "Oh, there's this little girl, like 7 years old."
Oh,
and
is
like,
this the one with Jim Caviezel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to see that, man.
Yeah. So basically, I don't want to ruin the film,
No,
but just the premise is that she says, "Oh, you can get your child into acting or modeling or singing." They said, "Yeah, they're acting like a talent scout." So the father sends his
film.
You seen it?
Sound of Freedom, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the father sends his 2 children with this modeling agent, and they basically put them in a shipping container and ship them off to different parts of the world. Now, the interesting thing about that is with the Epstein files, that's exactly what they've been doing. Going into these countries like Haiti or Africa, and smuggling these children out of these countries into this underground sex trafficking ring. So really the slave trade, obviously chattel slavery, as we experienced it, is we're no longer in that, but there's still an underground where people are being sold into that, still being sold into slavery, like little girls being sold to various people, like these pedophiles who will have their way with them, and you'll be lucky if you ever see your child again, alive. So that still happens.
Going to poor people to offer them money for their children, basically.
Yeah.
And you got to say that these poor people, some of them must know what the deal is, man, because How are you going to be selling your children to strangers on the premise that these strangers are trying to make you wealthy?
Yeah, some people do actually have their children and sell their children because they're so hard up.
Yeah.
And that's a thing of old. That's a thing of old. They used to do that in Japan and stuff like that, and sell their boys.
Yeah.
And they'd be them. They turn them into females basically. Man.
Yeah.
And they perform on stage, and they'd be like literally like male harlots, man, for older men and that. Be getting turned out. So this is an age old thing. Yeah, let's get back into.
Yeah, I've got a precept.
Just finish this off, Salakia. So it says, verse 5, because you have taken my silver and my gold and carried it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah, which is southern kingdom, and the children of Jerusalem, which would be northern kingdom, ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of their place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord have spoken it.
That's beautiful, man.
That's
So what you did is that's a perfect recompense. You're getting the exact payment back, man. You know, we're going to be selling your offspring, right, and making money for them, man. And you're going to have to. The scripture's talking about the longing of
your eyes shall long to see
Yeah.
your children.
and you're gonna feel that. Someone quickly grab that.
Yeah.
I think that's in 28 somewhere.
Yeah,
So we'll read this in the context that this is what's gonna happen to these heathens, man. What happened to us is gonna happen to you.
Well, I think
You know, imagine you rip the children out of the mother's arms, man,
as soon as it's born.
and for them to never see them again. That's wicked, and that shows you how they thought of us as not people. Their what is it? Their constitution?
Oh,
their-
3/5 of a man.
Yeah, 3/5 of a man. So we wasn't deemed human anyway, which is why it was legal for them in their eyes. They'll fight. They'll die on that hill about the reason why there's no reparations and we compensated the Sabians because it was legal. Just because you made it legal. So if I say that grape is legal today, if I'm running things and I say grape is legal, is that cool?
Does it mean it's right?
But exactly. Does it mean it's morally correct? No.
Revelation 13:10.
I'm holding that.
Lead leadeth into captivity.
Yeah. Get that one real quick, man.
I'll start at 9. Revelation 13, and I'll start at 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Listen, there is no need for a breakdown for that. It's just
Plain.
plain and simple, right? The only thing I will say is that patience, man, is a suffering that we have to have because we have to wait for this, you know. And our people don't understand this, man. They're just going along their daily lives thinking that it's always going to be this way. You know, some of them are trying to fight the good fight in what they think is a good fight, right? But it's going to come to nothing because they're not coming in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is the only way we're going to get our revenge, man. And the Lord's going to get his revenge. First and foremost, the Lord's got to get his revenge.
Yep. First
Let's not forget that.
Go on.
And that's why we curse up these Christian churches, because that scripture that you read is so basic and simple. I've been going to church for 25 years, and I've never heard that scripture called.
Never.
I've never heard that in church.
Slaves, the final, even the word, this word saints. The saints doesn't mean the other nations. It's talking about us,
Go on.
right?
And you know, why would they bring that up in the church? Because remember, they're under those charters, man. They're under the charters, so they can't be telling everything in the church. And even if they was to read that, they wouldn't even know what that meant anyway. You know, what would they say to that?
Well, you can't talk about. Look, so like I need to speak up. The spirit just jumped on me. I did a video some years ago, right? It was basically about an advert that was ran by Marks and Spencer's, where you had an Edelman having a piggyback on a Jake, and I pointed out the fact that that's basically showing you that you're still in slavery, because you never see an advert with an image of an Edomite giving a grown ass Jake man a piggyback. I done that video like 4, 5, maybe even 6 years ago, right? I got a notification on Saturday morning saying this video has been deemed age restricted by YouTube. right? So basically, I'm saying that to say this whole topic of slavery is it's become a very contentious issue because Esau is getting exposed too much.
Yeah.
See, when we bring out the truth of the history of what they did to us as a people, now all of a sudden we're the ones who are speaking hate speech.
Right.
We're the ones who are being, hate speech, causing alarm and distress, all this kind of crap. But you're the motherfuckers who did it. So if anybody's going to feel alarm and distress, it should be us, because the wounds that have been inflicted on our people have not been healed. Baruch says that,
read it, man.
yeah, it's like I'm holding this.
Someone get
I could get it for you.
Yeah, Thawada, I'll just quickly make this point. I'll bring this up. We can move on.
Yeah.
But the point is that, like, for example, the whole thing about your family being torn apart, like when we was on the plantation, we had no power in our hand. You could have your daughter sitting there, like, again, 5, 6 years old, all of a sudden, oh, master's calling for your daughter. What are you going to do? You're going to say, no, she can't go? You ain't got no power. She's going up to master's house to be violated and all kind of shit. And you have to sit there and take it? You can't do anything about it? Do you know how much psychological trauma that causes a person?
Hurts.
And even, like, for example, let's say you did have a child, she's there one day, all of a sudden, master sold her to some God knows other plantation. You can't leave to go and find it, because if your ass leaves, you're going to get them what do they call them?
Slave patrol.
Hunting your ass down. Where you going, boy? Sending the dogs on you. Then you find your ass swinging from a tree. I mean, like, all of that mental anguish and torture, it's still within us. Like, the Most High says there's no remembrance of former things. But, like, if you could imagine, like, for example, in today's world, you're on your job, working for some Edomite. He's like, how you doing, mate? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you've got a flashback of, like, that guy raping your daughter, like, 10 generations ago on the plantation.
Raping.
Forgive me, I should say raping. But yeah, like, the Most High had to put that mental block there because there's too much. And even the slavery films that do show a little bit, like Goodbye Uncle Tom, those films don't get, you never see that on ITV. You never see it on BBC.
Because they don't want to be reminded of their bullshit.
It's too much heat.
Too much heat. Listen, they try and play it off. That's why they always say, "Oh, everybody did that." Not like how you did it, man.
Precept.
Yeah, get that.
Galatians 4 and 16.
Yeah.
Am I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Now, because ultimately that's all we're doing here. Is we're just saying it as it is. But you see, the problem is, in a world full of lies, how's that saying go, man? In a world full of lies, the truth becomes
Those who tell the truth are hated.
No, it's not.
It's not that. But that's basically what it is, because you have to see this whole world as you see it is constructed on lies. And all we do when we come out and we bring out these scriptures,
in a world full of lies, the truth becomes a radical act.
there you go.
Yeah.
So and that's what we're doing. But that's what we've been instructed to do. Once again, Galatians 4 and 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Because really, you got bigger problems than us coming out and telling you the truth, man. You've got the actual judgment of the actions you've done that you nations are gonna have to pay for, man.
Second, I was just checking what he is. I think it's a revolutionary act.
Yeah.
They said it was said by George Orwell, but
revolutionary act.
don't believe
Yeah.
it. It doesn't matter who said it.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
is
fact.
what it is.
The
truth is truth.
Whether someone said it or
The
not,
truth is
we
truth.
just said it now.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Precept.
Yeah, go on.
Jeremiah, to back up what you just read. Jeremiah 30 and 16 says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversary, every one of them, shall go unto captivity. They that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that preyed upon thee will I give for a prey. The word devoured means to be consumed or burned up.
Bro, just read that again, but slower.
I thought I was reading it too.
Nah, read
Alright,
that
the one.
slower.
Right, Jeremiah 30 and 16 again. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be. As a matter of fact, let me just see what the NLT says.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 30 and 16 of the NLT. For all who devoured you will be devoured, and all your enemies will be sent unto exile. All who plunder you will be plundered, and all who attacked you will be attacked. So I mean, that's self-explanatory. And I was looking at this article because someone mentioned something. Was it somewhere over there in Asia? But anyway, it's well known. I just got this article
in the
here.
K-pop thing.
Yeah, this is Gary Glitter.
Oh, he's still around.
Right, Gary Glitter did terrible things, Vietnamese victims, because there used to be a lot of documentaries on Vietnam and what the trafficking thing and how, you know, it's a lot of prostitution out there.
Yeah, that's why all the Edomites always run to Thailand.
Right.
Sri Lanka, yeah.
So who knows. Yeah, Gary Glitter, I'm just going to hit a couple of these subheadings there. Gary Glitter, real name, Paul Gadd, talking about speaking the truth. Was it a revolutionary act?
Yeah.
Yep. So that you want to call me that, I don't mind. Yeah, we're going to bring it out. Right? Has been found guilty of the abuse of 3 young girls, including an attempted rape between 1975 and 1980, and probably a lot more than that. In 2005, when he lived in Vietnam, the former rock singer had been convicted of, I could say this word, molesting 2 other girls, 11 and 12, over there in Vietnam. I mean, why? You basically said it. He fled because he was getting caught over here, and he was getting he was coming on top. So he went over there because I think they had him on a lot of charges over here. And he figured, or he just knows, because they know
their networks.
Monkey know which tree to climb. And he went over there, and he probably, you know, a lot more than 11 and 12, more than 2. And then he eventually got caught over there for doing what Edomites do.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Because you see how when they nabbed him, they nabbed Rolf Harris. And they found out about what's his name after he
Jimmy
perished, right? They made an uproar. Like, this was crazy. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, how could they do? Listen, that's your people, man.
Yep.
There's millions of cases of your people doing it. It's just a surprise that celebrities are doing it. Why? You got a whole group of them on the list out there, man. Everybody knows about now.
Yeah.
You got P Diddy in jail for freak offs and excessive uses of baby oil, but then you've got these guys on this Epstein list that are still walking around scot free. Because you're about that. You're pretending to be righteous people, but you're about this, man. Your whole established hierarchy is run on
by the
PDF, man.
Yeah.
Look at the BBC.
Zombies.
Look at the BBC, right? You have, as you said, Rolf Harris is in the BBC. Jimmy Savile was in the BBC. Gary
Edwards.
Yeah, I was about to
There's
say
a new one now.
Was on the radio.
Scott Mills on the radio. And you had on the ITV, yeah, Philip Schofield.
Yeah, Schofield,
Shameful
yeah.
spewing, man. It's that shameful spewing.
Exactly. So you're getting found out, and it's it all revolves around all of the wickedness that the heathens are doing. It really all revolves around Esau Edom, man.
Because he's the one who's putting the bottle to them to make them drunk.
Yeah, giving them that wine, man.
Kind of, if you remember years ago, Elder Ramah down by Central, he used to talk about the BBC a lot, you know.
Yeah, because he was just down the corner, yeah.
He used to talk about them a lot. BBC, they cover up a lot of things. You see this media, man, they're full of shit, you know.
Yeah, they are full of shit.
And you notice all of a sudden, too, when these people die, that's when they bring it out.
But yeah,
and then, you know,
it's like
no, but he's right, because it's like they know about it at the time.
Yeah,
when they die, it's like, now we got to look like we're doing something now.
But look at all the names you've mentioned, right? We all come from the it's like the BBC's just rotten to the core, but yet they still want to make documentaries about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, listen, that's old news, man. That we all know that was fabricated against him.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You've got so much shit in your own garden, but you still want to keep slinging shit at a man who's been dead since 2009.
And listen, we don't say that to say that Michael Jackson is innocent. But there's certain things that we know that there's certain things you do, and that things there's not everybody does the same thing in these industries, man. In order to sell their souls, there's other things you do, you know, sacrifices and mo shit and all that other stuff. And then you have the PDF stuff, man. You know, you have the sacrificial stuff. There's different kinds of stuff, man. These people are some wickedness on a high satanic level, man.
Yeah.
Super high satanic level, man. And they've infiltrated everything. I remember before coming to this truth, man, there was a documentary. You can still find it on YouTube, and it's in parts, and it goes on for a long time. It's called "The Truth May Scare You," and it talks about, if you haven't seen that, man.
I have to check it out.
When I first watched that, the first episode put shivers down my spine because I didn't know. I didn't know about this stuff.
Yeah.
What was it going into?
It went into everything. It went into the music industry, the movie industry, the hidden things,
Okay.
the symbolisms, the esoteric symbols, all the businesses that use the same symbols, all the sacrificial stuff, just all the hidden stuff that's around you, that's all on a satanic vibration.
Which they've desensitized the masses to.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the precepts. We're going for what time? How long's on that?
About 50.
We'll go do another 20.
Go on.
Do another 15.
Go on.
Well, just depends because we've got to get more precepts about the future of these, the future of the heathens.
I got some.
This is I've got on here. This is Deuteronomy 28 because we mentioned it a while back. 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters. No, I read that already. It's like we read that already.
I've got a precept. This is Isaiah 59, and I'll start at 15. It says, "Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment." Because that's what we see happening here. We've got all this wickedness going on, and it's like seemingly they can do all of this madness and just have no repercussions for it. Seemingly. Read Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Right? It says here in verse 16, "And he saw there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him." And this is talking about Yahweh Shai. "For he put on righteousness as a breastplate, and an helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak."
Garments of vengeance, boy.
Imagine that. It's just
Yeah, and doesn't it say in Isaiah 42 that he's going to let out a cry as a travailing woman, man? Because when you read Psalm 7, it actually tells you how the Most High is angry with the wicked every day, man. So you must be out of your mind if you think for 1 second that all this stuff is going on, and you just got the Heavenly Father on the throne, like
running tea.
nothing to see,
That's the Christian God.
That's Jesus. That's Jesus and Jehovah, not Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. It says here in Isaiah 59 and 18, "According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay. Fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." Because as we've established in the 15th verse, "He that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey." So naturally in time, what's going to happen, man? You're going to have Esau, you're going to have these other nations that are going to try and come up against the elect, man. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra 16, there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Heavenly Father, man. Right? There's going to be a great insurrection, man. So that standard is going to have to be lifted so that we can make it through these times, man.
You done with that?
I'm done with that.
Yeah. Because I want Ariel to finish reading that again, man. We want to finish that again, man.
Jeremiah 30 again, yeah, and 6 again. I read it in the KJV this time. "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversary, every one of them, shall go unto captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey."
So that's the Lord handing over the heathens to us as property, man. And now you're gonna know what it feels like. Right? To be a property of the highest order, man. Right? As us being of the highest order. Obviously you have King David on down, man. You have the governing body of the 144,000, and even those that are outside of that 104. Because remember, the whole of the nation of Israel is the elect. but you have the elect of the elect. So even the there's a hierarchy in the kingdom, man, and even the lower of the Israelites are going to be way above you heathens, man, and they're going to get their piece of you as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Psalms 137 from verse 7. Remember, O Lord, Yahweh, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
Yeah, read that in the Christian church. Listen, we don't give a fuck about your children, man. Or your women, or none of you, man. All of you gonna get what's coming to you in the most. And then listen, we say this brazenly now. Listen, we're just men right now, man. We're not saying that we have that spirit on us, right? But the Lord is gonna put the spirit on us to do them things.
Yeah, He's gonna put his anger upon us.
Yeah. Because we ain't gonna be able to just do that without that, man. Because that's a harsh judgment to give. All right, but the difference is with you devils, that's in you. With you wicked Edomites, that's already in you, man. It didn't take you nothing to cut our women's bellies open and pull out the babies, man. It didn't take you nothing to do that, and burn our men on the ground. So much so that they're trying to. I remember one story. There was burning one of them, and he was putting hot coals in his mouth. To try and finish himself off quicker. Fuck. Climbing up the burning fucking ropes to get away from the flames, man. So you fucking devils.
That's why, officer, you said something beautiful, because that's why what we said earlier. This is the Lord's movie, He knows what we are like. Because if we ever knew who did what to us, we couldn't control ourselves, right? And it's in Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore, wait upon me. You have to wait on the Lord. Yeah? Saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations that made assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all of my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Right. All the earth, man. Listen, someone get quickly Revelation 1 and 7, man.
Let me get it.
Because the whole of the earth, yeah, man. Once they see who the Lord Yahweh is coming to deliver, it's a wrap. Because it's going to be that what's that word? That moment of clarity when you realise that you fucked up.
That was shit moment.
Yeah, and it was at that moment.
Yeah.
When he realised.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be for you. What's it? Wisdom of Solomon 5. We don't need to get that. But read that real quick.
God, this is Revelation 1 and verse 7. It says here, Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and everyone...
And that's them clouds are the chariots, man.
Oh, that's spirit, brother. Spirit.
It says...
Because those Christians like to teach that the Lord is coming in an actual chariot with horses flying through the air, right? And all that madness. The scriptures describe the chariots as clouds, whirlwinds, tempests, all types of things, man. Right?
Lloyd's van.
Yeah, no, it's not. There's no flying horses, man. Right? It's chariots, man. It's the Lord's it's the way of it's transportation, man. The word chariot is just a vehicle. It's a vehicle, man. But it's a vehicle from a celestial point of view. This brother's losing over there.
This is Revelation 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. Amen.
All kindreds, man. What's that? That's all the nations, man. All the nations are going to wail because of him, even so. Amen. Meaning, they know that's Judgment Day, man.
Yep.
In its purest form, Judgment Day, the day when you realize that the Lord is dealing with us only. Right? Psalms 147 and 19. He ain't dealing with no one else. The statutes and the judgments are for us only, and he has not dealt so with any nation.
Nope.
If I may say something, Baba Kashar, on the topic of the chariots, right? Esau's been running disinformation on the chariots since like the early 1950s, maybe even before that, saying that they're, aliens and Martians and shit. But you got to imagine how scared the elites must feel, because they're the ones who put guys like Steven Spielberg out there to put movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or E.T. or other films like Independence Day. They're the ones who have financed these directors to put out this disinformation, but they know the truth. They know what those chariots are. They're not going to come out and say it on mainstream, because that would show that
they're still pushing it now. They're never going to say that it's it's the angels of the Lord controlling those things, man. According to not according, as it says in the book of Ezekiel.
Yeah.
All right. They're never going to say that, because then they're going to have to admit that there's a higher power out there. They're trying to show themselves
as the higher power.
And someone we need to get Obadiah to get that one out.
Yeah.
But my point is that they must be scared, because they know the truth. They know the prophecy. They know how Yahushua is coming back. So they're seeing these things. And I mean, they've got to be scared.
Yeah, remember, Ronald Reagan was talking about that Star Wars program, talking about an invasion from outer space.
Yeah.
And so they knew way back then. That's in the 80s, man. Talking about a Star Wars program and coming together, a new world order coming together in order to back. And that, what's that? That's
Second Ezra 13
chapter, man. So listen, this is all prophecy, man.
No matter which way you slice it, there's a precept for him.
He spoke about that, and he was really speaking about the future, man.
Yep. And if I may add, Baba Kashar, they understand that this is inevitable, because even their technology confirmed it. Because sometime in the early 2000s, they built this great quantum computer, and they tried to input all kinds of different scenarios to lead to an alternative outcome, and the outcome was always the same. So they know this, man.
That's
It's
beautiful.
just what it is that they want to at least have the people think that they can never be through, and they're gonna make a way out of it. But that's that pride,
That's
man.
what I was gonna say. That's the pride of Esau, right?
Yeah.
Because the scriptures have already told you what's gonna happen. It told you what's happened, what's happening now, and what's about to go down. Like there's no getting. It's preordained, man.
Let them know.
This is preordained. There's no escaping it.
And it's no mistake with Esau, right? Even down to this bullshit with the moon, they're going to the moon. All that, is all fabricated big time too,
Yeah.
Well, they got to act like they're more powerful.
That's because listen, there's a time, right? I saw it in the news, they're showing when the rocket was going up, yeah? And you see people, they turn the camera on the crowd, and everybody's like, wow, look at that. They wanted to show the world that they have the power. You see what I'm saying? But we have the power. Right? We see through that bullshit anyway. You see?
Precept. Even this aspect, because they're building the elites are building their bunkers all throughout Europe and stuff like that, where they've got like underground cities where they think that they can hide from the nuclear destruction. That's gonna basically be their great reset. To they know America's gonna get destroyed. That's why they keep showing it in movies. Like if this is your kingdom, why are you always showing the kingdom getting destroyed?
Yeah.
Right, but this piece of cuts them. This is Revelation 6 and 16. Actually, I've got the verse before him. Let's read this from here, right? So it says, Revelation 6 and 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So that day is coming where they're going to hide in their bunkers, but guess what? When Yahushua comes back and America gets destroyed, we're going to come down from those chariots and we're going to find your asses, man. Wherever you're hiding, we're going to find you.
Take them out their holes, man.
This is the thing. Esau's got to feel so trouble. Yeah.
Trouble.
But
It's a spirit.
Trouble.
That's
a cold thing. That's a cold
cut. The point to chime in. There's trouble. There's trouble coming through the people.
That is heavy.
Everything speaks out against Esau, man.
Everything.
Esau's finished, man.
Someone got that Obadiah.
Yeah,
Mm.
let's get this over.
I got
Let's
it,
get
I
a
got
couple more precepts, man.
This is
Make sure this dealing with these demons that we got against us, man. Because we have to come out and condemn you, lot, man. And we condemn our own people. Yeah, we got to condemn you heathens too, man. You have to be told about your judgment, man.
Yeah.
He still needs to be told about his ass.
Got to be told,
Yeah,
man.
I've
Because
got-
who else is going to tell you? Everyone else is up your arse, man. All these other heathens, all these other nations are up Esau's arse.
Yeah.
You know, we're the only ones out here standing on business, telling you that you're going down, man.
Yep.
And you can't stop us from doing that, man. You cannot stop it.
It's prophecy.
It's prophecy. You can't shut our mouths on that.
We've got the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, read that.
This is Obadiah 1 and verse 3. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh." Of course, literally, he is trying to set himself amongst the stars. Of course, you got Jeff Bezos with his, space company Blue Origin, and of course NASA as well, with their latest mission called I think it's Artemis 2, which of course is an illusion as well.
Yeah, they say you the fantasies. Don't turn it around. They send you the fantasies in Star Trek about the final frontiers and going beyond. You know, above and beyond and all that shit. You ain't even getting above the Van Allen belts. That's what I'm talking about, man. You're out there. You've put yourself up on this pedestal, and it's all lies, man.
It's a Hollywood
You've
production.
now said that you know how the universe was created, when the scriptures already tell us that. So who the fuck are you? We don't know.
And it's not millions and billions. The Earth ain't millions and billions of years old, man.
Even with his general Big Bang Theory, normally there's an initiation to every reaction. So the question then comes in, okay, who initiated that reaction?
That's it.
Just by reasoning alone, that points to the Most High. If you were to accept that type of theory, someone would have had to initiate that.
Man, just say something on that point. Because that dickhead, so-called Professor Stephen Hawking, he's come out as we always knew he was a fraud anyway, but he's been found out to be, going to Epstein Island and getting bitches and shit. Yeah, him and his mashup party. Typing away. that was a fake voice anyway.
Just because he's like that doesn't mean he can't be wicked, man.
Same way, man.
That's why he's like that. That's why he's actually like that.
Yeah,
because of his wickedness.
Judgment
Exactly.
But yeah, allegedly he said on the Big Bang, in that stupid voice, on the Big Bang, I spoke to the Pope and we had a deep conversation about it, and he advised me that it's not good to ask about the cause of the Big Bang because such questions may be too much for the faith of the people of the world, because he was always pushing this atheism, right? So the thing you said there, okay, if there was a Big Bang, which we know there was,
Yeah, of course.
right? Because the scriptures
1.
talk about Genesis and the elements, right? But again, what caused that? Elements didn't create themselves; they had to have an origin. We know according to the scriptures, that's the Heavenly Father.
The
set it all up.
Yeah.
The Elohim, Yahweh Shai. So they can't even answer that question. But really, they don't want you to ask that. They just want you to accept. Oh, there was a Big Bang.
Yeah,
It was just random.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You took the words out of my mouth. They want it down as a random event. That it just so happened to happen, and that we just happen to be here. There's no reason behind it. There's no design.
And they push you only live one life. That's why they have to do as thou will mantra, because they think, well, life is just here to be enjoyed. Let's do as we will, and to hell with the consequences. Well, guess what? Consequences are going to catch up with your ass, man.
And they are.
Let's finish off in Obadiah, man.
This is that 1 and verse 4 again. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle," it says, "and thou set thy nest among."
Let me stop you real quick as well, because look, the eagle is a synonymous symbol in regards to Esau, Edom, man.
True.
Right? Yeah, in Babylon, that's their national bird, man. You look at a lot of these Eastern European countries as well, which are Edomites.
Mhm.
They use that eagle on their flags and certain things as well.
The Nazis.
The Nazis had that shit.
The Romans had it.
Yeah.
The eagle that landed.
Read them.
Yeah.
Americans. Yeah, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Obviously, some rhetorical questions there.
Because you're greedy.
Mm.
No,
How
don't-
greedy.
You're greedy, man.
Yep.
You just take
But
until there's nothing left, and then you go somewhere else and take more shit that doesn't belong to you.
True, sir. True, sir. So yeah, they're trying to do that right now. The U.S. Israel Iran conflict right
Trying
now.
to take
Yeah.
this Trump's out there talking about trying to take
Yeah.
Greenland
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
Venezuela.
Trump.
He wants to take Canada. Who the fuck is this guy, man? And listen, that's all coming down to these nations hating the poor man.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
pushing it to that, and that's prophecy once again. You're just doing the will of the Lord, man. Read them, bro.
That's that proud man that neither keepeth at home.
Yeah.
He desires as hell.
The thief cometh not but to kill, to steal, and to destroy.
All of those things, man, and you're out here painting a picture that you're the good guy.
Some nice guy.
Getting Paula White to pray for you in the name of Jesus.
We don't believe, yeah, we don't believe you
Oh,
anymore.
boy.
You know. Anyway, read on. Let's finish this.
So over there, 1 and 6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of their confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Of course, these times that we're living in right now, that's also it's like a warm up to pretty much the so-called NATO allies and EU is gonna go against America, go against Babylon the Great, go against Esau Edom because of how you see he's been handling things, and of course the signs are clear right now. So verse 8 it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Yes, all you established, all the governing bodies are going to be brought down. You know, and listen, they're going to be put on parade, man. We're going to show the new world that we're in charge. By what? Showing the new world that the old world is now underneath us, under our subjection. You know, you're about to be brought down low, man. Very low.
I've got
To the lowest of the low, because you're already the lowest of the low anyway, man.
Yep.
Hold your preset. I want him to finish this, and then we'll get yours, and then we cut.
Go on. So this is over there 1 and verse 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
And that shame is, don't turn the camera around. That shame is coming out now. Because we keep talking. Listen, people ain't going to stop talking about what you did. You can try and change history, rewrite it, fuck up the museums and whatnot, cancel people from talking about it, right? Talk about, what they had that thing with the nations when they're deciding on reparations and whatnot, and deciding whether or not the slavery was what was it, criminal
act
or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
crimes against humanity.
Yeah, crimes against that's it. And guess who didn't vote for that? In fact, guess who voted? There's people that didn't vote for it; they just abstained from it. But guess who voted against it? Babylon the Great, the Amalekites, man, the synagogue of Satan, and then damn stinking Argentinians, man. Because they're fucking racist, man. Yeah, they're fucking racist, man. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Fuck them, man. If you got to look at the history of that country and how they basically kicked out and killed a lot of the Jakes that was living there, man. They hate you. Yeah. Anyway, read on, man.
Going over there 1 and verse 11, it says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day that their destruction, neither in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
And Slacka, we go, don't go, that's fine. We have to remember, this is our evil twin brother. Man. That's what we're talking about. They're really our evil counterparts, man.
True.
All right, we come from the same
Womb,
we come from the same womb, man. Same, you know, of the same seed line, but there was a split. All right, the promises that they had was not the eternal promises, man. And now we're coming into the time where they're the scriptures talk about their bounds. Was it Job 14 and 14, right? You know, the Lord's made it so there's a certain time, a time span, a timeline that they're going to survive for, and you know, do their wickedness, and they're going to get taken out, man. And this is going to get into all of that. Let's get on with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? They cried bitterly, right, for his blessing, and they're going to cry bitterly for the curse.
And how are you going to cry for something you sold, man?
Thank you.
Never is anyway.
Exactly.
That's how sport children behave when they're the sense of entitlement, and
that's how Edomites behave. That's how Edomites behave. They have the sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
I was standing at Brookie yesterday waiting for the bus, and they fucking I'm standing there in my spot, in my space, and they just fucking come standing right next to you like they own
your space.
Like you move, little boy.
You can't even breathe.
Entitlement,
You can't even breathe.
That's how and they don't even know. They don't even know they're doing it. I had to look at them like, what are you doing? Like, there's all this space, and you got to stand right here next to me.
Come on.
Anyway, that's me ranting.
Obadiah 1 and verse 14, it says, Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is near upon all the heathen.
All the heathen, man.
All of them.
That's why we have to get this one, because it's not just about Esau. Right? All of you heathens are going to have to pay. All this rep and buying this brother bullshit that you've been trying to deceive our people with, man. Listen, you're showing your ass. We know what you're about. I wanted to say this actually, I kind of forgot. This was came into my mind because we were talking about the buying power, right? Remember we were talking about the buying. So we were talking about the buying power, right? There's a shop, Southeast London. I'm not going to mention the area. In fact, fuck it, I'm moving. It's in Peckham. And this shop, there was a story. I don't know if you probably remember that the gentleman tried to return a wig, and they weren't having it. And one of these Edomites got her in a chokehold, man. It was straight in this bitch.
Oh,
and do you know what? Jake stopped going to that shop, and that shop is closed down.
Oh, that's the power.
So that shows
Boycott.
Boycott.
Come on. Yeah, if we just to add to what you just said, officer, we are the most consumers, the biggest spenders, right? You know, we want to like to shine, but if that shows our power. Now, if we use our power in the right way and started to boycott, as you just used the example there, and say, right, we're going to withhold, you know, women do that, innit? We withhold the Jew, you know, and it works. He gets the men, you know, the simps to fall in order. So we can do that, right? In righteousness. But I know it's not going to happen. Your whole shy is the power. He's going to come back. That's the icing on the cake. That's the grand finale. But that just shows our power. That shop in Peckham was closed down.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, and they don't respect you. They just all they respect is the greenbacks, man. The money. They don't give a fuck about you. They just want you to. They want to take your money until you can get the fuck out of their shop. Simple.
If I may say, some of them as well, like you go to pay them, and like they don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I get that. Like, listen, there's a shop over the. I have to say this because you use the spirit. There's a shop over the road from where I work. I'm not gonna say no names and all of that, but you go in the shop and the guy's all right. He's cool. Like You'll be standing outside smoking his cigarette, and you walk in the shop. He won't follow you in there. The wait, he'll just say, "Let's go." Just go. It's cool. He's a woman though. Like every day I go in there and I buy a drink or whatever. Every time I see her go like this. Like, every time I pay, you ain't got no reason to look at me. And then when she goes to give me my chain,
For it,
Yeah.
she's dropping it in my hand, being careful not to touch me.
Yeah.
I see that, but it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man.
Because at the end of the day, you're lower than me. You're lower than us, man. And that's what we're talking about. You're going to see that. It's going to be revealed that you are the lowest, man. All of you heathens are beneath us, man. All right. You know, I was watching something today, and there was some Christians were talking some bullshit about how God created all men equal. They didn't create all men equal, man. We are above all nations that are upon the face of the earth, man.
That's Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Right.
Go on.
But Esau tried to twist it. Because what he had us in that hardcore slavery. He made us use scientific racism against us, making us believe that we're only 3/5 of a man, so that we started begging for equality. Then he put, Martin Luther King, trying to make us, what do you call it, end segregation to bring us back into unity with these Edomites. But then we're coming to the table as if like, oh, we're like Oliver Twist begging, like, oh, please, can we have equality? Please, please, please. Okay, well, now he's given us so-called equality. A lot of Jake think, oh, now we're okay. But no, we're not equal. We're above you. I was going to say you MFs, man.
You can say that, man.
Well, I'm kind of trying to keep it PC.
No, fuck all that. I've already been effing and blinding anyway. So
yeah, we're above all you motherfuckers, man.
Fuck that.
And you're going to know your place in the kingdom, man. Yeah. Which is going to be underneath our heel. Which is going to be up your backside.
And listen, if you don't like the way we talk, man, you can get the fuck off. Don't watch it. Simple as that. Let's finish. Obadiah.
Go on. This is Obadiah 1 and 15. It says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, and as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
Yes.
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken it. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain of the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. And saviors shall come up on the Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
So first and foremost, in that, the heathens are going to get what's coming to them, but Esau's eventually going to be taken out of the picture completely. And then everything that was taken, or everything that belongs to us, is going to be parted unto us, man. All the tribes are going to get every piece of what they owed, man. All right, there's plots laid out for the tribes, man.
Yep.
All right, and not only that, we're going to go above and beyond. We're going to go above and beyond that. We're going to be the only ones to do that. Right. So everything that you've taken, everything that you've built on our backs and our blood and sweat and tears is going to be returned to us. Man. Right. Not even the lands where these heathens, the other heathens, because Esau's going to have nothing. He's going to be in. We're going to get all of them, but eventually they're going to go back to their little spots. But we're still going to be. Everything's going to belong to us, man. Yeah. Everything's going to belong to us.
In control.
They take everything from us. One thing they can't take away from us, the scriptures.
And we read it yesterday. Our gates will be continuously open. So they're going to consistently, constantly, eternally bring things to us. Bring tangible riches to us, man. That's how we're going to live. Just how these Edomites have tangible riches on the earth. We're going to have the real gold, the silver, all the precious gemstones, right? The fine linens, All right,
Clothing.
everything's going to be decked out proper. You know, the food. You know, capital, commerce, man. You think we're just going to be sitting? There's going to be businesses, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna be flying around.
Just flying around making cheddar.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Just enjoying life,
No,
like, constantly enjoying ourselves, man. Now nobody knows what that's like. Nobody on this earth actually knows. Even these heathens that are way above us, these 5%ers or the 1%ers, they don't know how it is. It's just constantly. We might think that they are constantly enjoying themselves, but there's things that they have to deal with.
Like Yahushua's return.
Yeah, that's on their mind. How to keep hold of their riches and whatnot.
Yeah, they lose sleep over that.
Yeah.
You said you had one more, right?
Yeah, I do. This is Psalms.
Get that and we'll close.
Psalms 149 and verse 5 reads, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Beautiful scripture.
Yes.
Let the high praises of the Most High be in their
Saints.
mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord."
Hey, that's a perfect one. But someone get that in quickly in the NLT. We'll close. I want to hear that in the NLT.
What's the chapter?
Psalms 149 start at 5. NLT.
You notice that scripture, every time you read it, it sounds sweeter and sweeter.
Because we're getting
closer and
we're getting
closer.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah?
It's so sweet, I can almost taste
Right,
it.
this is Psalms 149, starting from verse 5 in the NLT. It says, "Let the faithful rejoice that he honors them. Let them sing for joy as they lie on their beds. Let the praises of the Most High be in their mouths, and a sharp sword in their hands, to execute vengeance on the nations and punishment
So
on the
hold that a
people."
minute, because we are going to execute the vengeance, man. We are on a daily basis, man. And even on the Sabbath, their minds will be tormented. Man.
Yep.
All right?
The current
So the Lord is going to give us that pleasure, man. What's that? Sirach 25 and 7. Quickly get that and then just finish that in the NLT. Because we have to have that, man. It's only right. It's only right, man.
Yep. This is Sirach 25 in verse 7. It says, "There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy."
And he that liveth to see the fall. And those that are perishing in this truth are going to be raised up again to see the fall of their enemies anyway, man. Because why again? Because it's only right.
Yeah.
So do you want to finish the NLT and we'll close
Go
that
on.
one?
Yeah.
Close that.
It's a spirit, man.
Psalms 149, verse 6, it says, "Let the praises of the Most High be in their mouths, and a sharp sword in their hands, to execute vengeance on the nations and punishment on the peoples."
And you know it says nations, not heathens. The nations, man. As we started with the nations, didn't we? In Psalms 83, we started with them.
Yeah. It says to execute vengeance on the nations and punishment on the peoples, to bind their kings with shackles and their leaders with iron chains, to execute the judgment written against them. This is the glorious privilege of his faithful ones. Praise the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, man. You gotta love the NLT, man. It doesn't fuck around.
Straight up.
Straight to the point, man. Pure. Not to say that the KJVs are pure, but it's just plain. You know. Anyway, man, we're gonna close out on that one. And as always, we're gonna give all the praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakodash.
and we're gonna give double honor to our apostles and elder bishops who taught us his truth. And peace and blessings to you. I hope we'll let you brothers out there, man. Keep pushing, and man, shalom to the next one.
Shalom.
Shalom. The Israelites are coming.